Welcome to our channel, The Book Digest. Unlock your potential. Transform your life with systems thinking. Do you ever feel like you're stuck in a loop, endlessly searching for solutions to problems that just won't go away? You try different approaches, put in immense effort, but the same struggles keep reappearing, leaving you frustrated and powerless. What if I told you the real issue isn't the problems themselves, but the way you think about them? Our mindset shapes our reality. If we keep using the same old thinking patterns, we'll keep facing the same challenges. But there's incredible news. You can break free. In his insightful book, The Art of Thinking in Systems, Steven Schuster reveals a powerful approach to shift your perspective, helping you solve problems not just temporarily, but once and for all. And here's the best part. Mastering this approach won't just tackle small issues. It will empower you to improve every aspect of your life, from decision-making and relationships to your career and personal growth. Most people navigate life simply reacting to problems, feeling trapped and without options. However, those who understand systems thinking see patterns, uncover hidden causes, and make changes that truly last. This book will open your mind to an entirely new way of seeing the world, where challenges are no longer roadblocks, but exciting opportunities to create smarter, more effective solutions. Stay with us until the end of this summary, because what you're about to learn can completely transform your mindset. If it does, don't forget to like, comment, and share this with someone who needs it, because the more we grow together, the more powerful we become. What exactly is a system? Before we dive into systems thinking, let's understand the core concept. What is a system? Simply put, a system is a collection of interconnected processes that work together to form a specific pattern and produce a consistent result. This means that if you want to change an outcome in your life, you must change the system that creates it. Systems thinking, a concept introduced by Barry Richmond in 1987, is the art of understanding the systems that govern our daily lives and tasks. By recognizing these underlying patterns, we can make strategic changes to achieve better, more lasting results. Its power lies in its ability to help us solve problems permanently, rather than just offering temporary fixes. Look around, and you'll see how deeply systems affect everything from our personal habits to society's biggest issues. Consider addiction, for instance. Many view it solely as a matter of personal choice, but in reality, it's a complex result of multiple interconnected factors like environment, psychological triggers, and social influences. Instead of treating addiction as an isolated issue, systems thinking encourages us to examine the entire structure behind it. By identifying the causes and their effects, we can work towards long-lasting solutions, not just quick fixes. Like any new skill, systems thinking develops over time. It requires training yourself to look at problems differently. Instead of jumping to the first solution, ask yourself, what if I change the structure of the problem instead of just reacting to its symptoms? This shift in mindset allows you to think outside the box and discover more creative, effective solutions. The boomerang effect, structure over action. Steven Schuster, the author, provides a fantastic example. As a teacher, he once demonstrated physics by bringing a boomerang to class. He threw it, and it returned. Then, he threw the box it came in with the same force and motion, but it simply fell. His point? It wasn't how he threw the objects that determined the outcome. It was their structure. The boomerang's curved shape was designed to react with the air and return, while the box had no such aerodynamic design. This perfectly illustrates systems thinking. If we understand how structures function and what influences their behavior, we can make changes that allow us to predict and even control outcomes. Instead of blindly reacting to problems, we can redesign the system itself, leading to long-term, meaningful change. The elements of any system. History repeatedly shows us that many people fail to learn from the past because they don't see events as part of a larger system. They focus on surface-level changes instead of addressing the underlying structure causing the problems. For example, when civilizations begin to collapse, the typical response is to replace the leader, hoping a new one will fix everything. However, leadership alone isn't the root issue. It's the system itself. Unless old patterns and structures are changed, simply swapping one leader for another won't create a better society. To bring about real, lasting change, you must first understand how systems work. Every system consists of three essential parts. Elements. These are the key components that make up the system. Interconnections. These are the relationships and networks that link the elements together. Function or purpose. This is what the system is designed to achieve. Let's take the human body as an example. Its elements are organs like the brain, lungs, and heart. The interconnections are the networks that connect these organs, such as the flow of blood and oxygen. These connections are crucial because they allow energy and nutrients to reach every part of the body. The function of this system is to sustain life, ensuring each organ works together to maintain overall health. Now, consider a school system. Its elements include students, teachers, and staff members. The interconnections are the rules and policies that define how these individuals interact, shaping communication, structuring relationships, and ensuring everyone plays their role effectively. The purpose of the school system is to provide students with valuable knowledge and skills, preparing them for future careers and personal growth. If you want to make significant changes within any system, you must identify and reshape its interconnections. While modifying elements is often the easiest part because they are visible and replaceable, changing interconnections is far more challenging as they are often deeply embedded. Even more impactful is altering a system's purpose. When the purpose shifts, everything within it begins to adapt accordingly. So, if you truly want to create lasting change, don't just focus on altering elements. Dig deeper, identify the interconnections, understand the purpose, and reshape the system at its core. That's how real transformation happens. Different types of thinking. Have you ever noticed how your mind approaches different situations? The way you think isn't always the same. It shifts depending on the context. Understanding these different thought processes can help you make better decisions. Linear thinking. This is the straightforward cause and effect reasoning we're taught from childhood. It assumes every problem has a single solution and every action leads to a predictable outcome. It's quick, efficient, and works well for simple problems, but it only scratches the surface and struggles with complex challenges that have multiple hidden factors. Event-oriented thinking. Similar to linear thinking, this focuses on past events and their impact on the future. People using this approach believe that changing the cause of an event will change its outcome. While effective for short-term problem solving, it's not always reliable for deeper, more intricate issues. Lateral thinking. This is a creative way of solving problems by looking at them from unconventional angles. Instead of a step-by-step process, lateral thinking encourages exploring new ideas and finding innovative solutions. It's responsible for groundbreaking inventions and fresh perspectives. But its challenge is that it often generates multiple possibilities without providing a clear or immediate answer. Critical thinking. For those who prefer an analytical approach, critical thinking comes into play. Critical thinkers go beyond the problem itself. They question their own thought process, evaluate information objectively, and look for logical solutions. Instead of accepting the first answer, they dig deeper, refining their understanding until they reach the most effective solution. Systems thinking, the most powerful of them all. Unlike other methods that focus on isolated problems, systems thinking looks at the bigger picture. Every issue is part of a larger structure made up of interconnected elements working together toward a specific purpose. Systems thinking helps us understand how problems emerge, how they connect to other factors, and how modifying the system itself can create lasting change. Not everyone is aware of systems thinking, and even those who are maybe at different levels of mastery. However, one thing is clear. Learning different ways of thinking is essential for personal growth. If you observe your own patterns, you'll likely realize you rely on just one or two types because they feel comfortable. But real growth happens when you challenge yourself to evolve by expanding your thinking and applying different approaches to different situations. This opens doors to better problem solving, smarter decision making, and a deeper understanding of the world around you. How to shift from linear to systems thinking. In the previous section, we explored 5 thinking patterns and the importance of adapting your approach. You also discovered why systems thinking is crucial for identifying problems at their core and creating lasting change. Now, let's dive into how you can transition from linear thinking to systems thinking. The first step is to analyze the problem in front of you. Is it a simple issue with a clear solution, or is it a symptom of a deeper, more complex system? If it's straightforward, linear thinking can solve it quickly. However, if the problem seems persistent, recurring, or deeply rooted, then you need to approach it with systems thinking. Instead of just treating the symptoms, you must study the elements and interconnections that created the problem in the first place. Many problems feel overwhelming because they are part of a larger system. To determine if a problem requires systems thinking, ask yourself, does solving it take longer than expected? Are others avoiding addressing the problem? Have you tried fixing it before, only for it to return? Do you feel emotional resistance toward dealing with it? Does the problem follow a clear, repeating pattern? Are you ignoring it instead of tackling it? Does facing the problem make you anxious or fearful? Have past solutions only led to new problems? If the answer to these questions is yes, then the problem runs deeper than it appears, and systems thinking is necessary to address it effectively. Shifting from linear to systems thinking isn't always easy. Often, making changes within a system is met with resistance. Think of a problem like hosting a family dinner. The author shares a story about his family's Christmas gatherings, where an unspoken rule kept peace, no political discussions. This simple decision maintained harmony. Now, imagine applying this to a large corporation. If employees avoid discussing important but controversial topics just to maintain harmony, real issues within the company may go unresolved. Leaders who fear upsetting employees or employees who fear speaking up often allow dysfunctional systems to persist. Ignoring a problem doesn't make it disappear. It only allows it to grow stronger beneath the surface. Transitioning from linear thinking to systems thinking is essential, especially when dealing with complex challenges that affect your personal life, family, or business. The bigger the problem, the greater the risk of ignoring it. By embracing systems thinking, you gain the ability to not only solve problems, but eliminate them at their root. Instead of reacting to issues as they arise, you'll start seeing how different elements connect, allowing you to make smarter, long-term decisions. Why do the rich get richer? Competitive exclusion explained. Have you ever wondered why the rich keep getting richer while the poor seem to struggle endlessly? It feels like an unfair system, doesn't it? In this chapter, we explore a concept called competitive exclusion, which the author believes plays a major role in the growing divide between success and failure in society. Competitive exclusion is a tricky concept, but let's break it down with an example. Imagine 2 students competing in the same exam. One student wins, securing a scholarship, financial reward, or a valuable opportunity. This one victory gives them a head start, opening doors to even bigger successes in the future. Over time, this small advantage keeps compounding, making them wealthier, more successful, and far ahead of the other student who now has to struggle even harder to catch up. In simple terms, winners keep winning and losers keep losing. You can see the same pattern in college football. Year after year, the same few teams make it to the finals. To even reach the championship, a team must first outperform multiple competitors. But why do the same teams keep winning? This is where competitive exclusion comes into play. At the beginning, every team starts out with similar potential. But as some teams begin to win more frequently, they gain extra advantages, more media coverage, a growing fan base, and higher sponsorship deals. The more visibility they get, the more financial backing they receive, which allows them to hire the best coaches, train in top-tier facilities, and recruit the most talented players. Over time, this cycle makes the winning teams nearly unstoppable. Every year, they attract stronger athletes who dream of joining the best teams, while struggling teams are left behind, unable to compete at the same level. The result? The rich teams keep winning, and the weaker teams struggle to break free. The same principle applies beyond sports. It's how wealth, power, and opportunities concentrate in the hands of a few. Those who start winning gain better resources, better connections, and better opportunities, making it increasingly difficult for others to catch up. So, how do you break out of this cycle? How can you stop the system from keeping you stuck? The key is to think in systems. Instead of seeing success as something that happens randomly, study those who are winning. Observe how they climb to the top and identify the patterns behind their growth. Learn how to adapt, evolve, and create new systems that work in your favor. If you want to win, you have to play smarter. Embrace experimentation, be willing to change, and never settle for the system as it is. If you resist growth, the system will always keep you where you are. But if you understand and leverage the patterns of success, you can break free from limitations and move toward the winning side. The power of systems thinking. Calling systems thinking an art, a way of seeing the world from a broader perspective, wouldn't be wrong. Unlike traditional thinking methods, which often focus on quick fixes, systems thinking is a more evolved approach that digs deeper into problems to find long-term, effective solutions. To develop a systems thinking mindset, the first step is to observe the situation carefully. Instead of reacting immediately, take a step back and identify any repeating patterns. Try to understand the structure behind the situation. Every system consists of three main components: its elements, the interconnections between them, and its purpose. By analyzing these, you can start making meaningful changes. If you find a system that has worked successfully for others, you can adapt its structure to improve your own situation. Systems thinking helps you see how everything connects. Since this approach encourages creativity, it increases the chances of finding better and smarter solutions to any problem. More importantly, it teaches you how your own mind works and how a single choice can completely change an outcome. By controlling your choices, you can minimize negative effects and create a more positive, productive life. Another key aspect of systems thinking is accountability. Many people, when faced with a problem, look for someone to blame. But with a systems thinking approach, you stop shifting blame and start taking responsibility for your actions. You begin to study the structure behind a problem instead of reacting emotionally to its immediate effects. Once you analyze a problem deeply, you may even realize that what seemed like a major issue was just a small part of a much larger system. Understanding this helps you focus on eliminating the root cause rather than just fixing surface-level symptoms. Systems thinking empowers you to find creative, lasting solutions that prevent the problem from recurring. Let's look at an example from the healthcare system to see how systems thinking can improve lives. In the past, whenever a medical mistake happened, the blame was immediately placed on the doctor or nurse involved. The assumption was that punishing the individual would prevent future errors. However, this approach didn't work because it ignored the larger system that contributed to those mistakes. Over time, hospitals started analyzing their medical systems instead of simply punishing individuals. When they studied their processes, they found that errors often happened due to overworked staff, mislabeled medications, and unclear instructions, rather than pure negligence. By addressing these structural problems, hospitals were able to reduce errors more effectively than by just blaming individuals. Doctors and nurses are now encouraged to openly acknowledge mistakes, which allows for continuous improvement and growth within the system. Instead of covering up problems or fearing punishment, they work together to make the system stronger and more efficient. As you can see, systems thinking is a powerful way of understanding and improving not just businesses or institutions, but every aspect of life. By adopting this mindset, you can navigate challenges more effectively and create solutions that last. Conclusion: mastering the art of systems thinking. Systems thinking is a highly evolved way of understanding life. It requires conscious awareness of the different structures that shape our world. Unlike traditional thinking, which often focuses on isolated events, systems thinking connects different elements, allowing us to predict outcomes and make strategic changes. Once you master this art, you can modify these elements and their connections to achieve the results you desire. Throughout this summary, you've learned how to evolve your thinking. You discovered the three core elements of systems: elements, interconnections, and purpose or function, which define how any system operates. You explored 5 different types of thinking: linear, event-oriented, lateral, critical, and systems thinking, and how choosing the right approach can help you solve problems more effectively. You learned how to transition from linear thinking to systems thinking, recognizing that complex problems require deeper analysis and a more strategic mindset. You uncovered the reason why the rich keep getting richer, understanding the concept of competitive exclusion, where winners continue to gain advantages while others struggle to catch up. You also learned that by studying the patterns of success, you can apply systems thinking to break through limitations and create opportunities for yourself. If you want to be a winner, you must start thinking like one. But thinking like a winner isn't just about mindset. It's about understanding the system behind success. By applying systems thinking, you can change the way you approach challenges, build smarter strategies, and shape your future in a way that leads to long-term success. Whether it's in your personal life, your team, or your business, systems thinking will help you rise above obstacles and unlock your full potential. Now that you've explored the power of systems thinking, how do you see yourself applying it in your own life? Have you ever faced a situation where thinking differently could have changed the outcome? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you found this summary valuable, consider sharing it with someone who might benefit from it. And if you enjoy content like this, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future summaries that can help you grow and think smarter. Thanks for listening, and remember, when you change the way you think, you change the way you live.